You're watching a total lunar eclipse here on timeanddate.com, and we are in totality right now, and we're going to stay here for an hour or so. And this is the famous blood moon, and I get it. And we can also see like a light edge on the moon there, especially in Santiago, Chile. So yeah, it's looking good, isn't it, Graham?
It is, yes. So yeah, the moon is now totally within Earth's dark inner or umbral shadow. It is still near the edge of the shadow. It's kind of slowly moving deeper into this dark shadow, but it is still a little bit near the edge, which means that we do have a slight difference on one side of the moon versus the other. So in our feed there from Charlotte in the USA, we can see that that top right edge of the moon is a bit lighter than the bottom left edge of the moon. If we look at our feed there from Santiago in Chile, we can see it's the other way around. There it's the bottom left edge is a bit brighter than the top right edge. Of course, this leads to the question that we often get asked, why do we have this difference between these images? It's a really good question. The first thing we have to say, Anna, is that, we are all looking up at the same moon. We are looking at the same event happening at the same time. This is not like a solar eclipse. At a solar eclipse, there we have the moon's shadow is sweeping across the Earth. So different observers in different places see the eclipse happening at different times. Here with a lunar eclipse, it's the Earth's shadow sweeping across the face of the moon. All the action is taking place hundreds of thousands of miles away. So we're all seeing the same event happening at the same time. The big difference here between our feed from Charlotte in the USA and Santiago in Chile is that we're looking at it from different hemispheres. So as we go from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere, or the other way around, then we see the sun and the moon, we see them the other way around. We sort of get them flipped. Now, this happens, to everything in the sky. It happens to the sun, but of course we don't normally notice the sun getting flipped around. We do notice the moon getting flipped around in different hemispheres. It's particularly noticeable with things like moon phases. So next week we have a third quarter moon coming up. This is when half of the moon's disk is illuminated. It's also called a half moon.
Yeah.
So in the northern hemisphere, it's roughly speaking the left-hand side of the moon that's illuminated. In the southern hemisphere, it's the right side of the moon that's illuminated. And it's this same effect that we're seeing here with the difference in our pictures from the USA and Chile. It's a northern hemisphere perspective versus a southern hemisphere perspective.
And we're kind of midway through totality, or at least coming up to maximum eclipse. And that's the deepest part of the eclipse. The moon's been traveling deeper and deeper into Earth's shadow. And in around 15 minutes, we're going to be at its deepest point, and the moon will be at its dimmest. And this is a lot dimmer than a normal full moon. A normal full moon is really bright. You try to take a picture of it, you just get that bright dot. You don't really kind of, it's just this thing, and you think it's big and beautiful. And then it's just this little silly dot in there. And that's because it's so right. So during totality, it's really nice to go outside and, stay outside and see what happens to the night sky as the moon gets dimmer, because this time, not so many planets close to the lunar eclipse. We did have a lunar eclipse way back in 2018 where Mars was really close to it. It was beautiful. But you can see stars. You can see other things that you wouldn't normally see next to the full moon because it's so much dimmer. So go outside and have a look if you have the chance. We don't. We can see the sun has come up. I'm a bit disappointed. I'm excited for the next eclipse that we can see here in Norway. We're going to be keeping this live stream going for another 2 hours, all the way up to the end of the second partial phase when the moon has completely left this dark shadow. And shines this bright white again. So we're excited about that too. So stay with us. Take a look at timing.live. You can see John there. You can see Thomas there. A little bit about them, a little bit about Stefan and Constantine, who are working their little bums off in Charlotte, USA. So we will be back soon.